Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you how you can take your Read AI notes and help you to be able to better track your time on your computer. So first of all, we're going to talk a little bit about the problem, and then we'll dive into a little bit of code, and I'll show you how to pull all these tools together so you could be able to better track your time spent, so you can report it for your client, or report it for your employer, or report it if you're doing consultant work, or just for your own personal self to be able to kind of understand what's working, what's not working. If you haven't noticed, got a little one behind me, so there might be a little bit of noise here and there in this video. Just excuse him. He's doing his own thing. I'm doing my thing. And yeah, we're just here to do productivity work. So let's talk about the problem. So first of all, I want to say this. I absolutely hate login time. It's just not my favorite thing to do. I do understand why it has to be done. I run a software company. I get my employees to also log their time. But I also do consulting work, and I have to log time to the company that I do. Sorry, ignore that. To the company that I do consulting work for. So the point is that login time is important. It's important for billing purposes. It's important for your own personal self. It's important so that you can keep track of, what you've been working on and what are the things that is chewing up your resources, your time, etc. That being said, I just don't like the process. The simple solution, just to be clear, to all this automation that I'm giving you right this minute, or we're going to talk about in a bit, the simple solution is for you to just log time as you go along. If you spent an hour on a piece of work, just log it. Or if you don't want to do that, in the morning, decide what is it that you're going to work on, write those things down, and then in the afternoon, when you're finished with work, log how many hours you spent on each particular task. That's the solution to the problem. Now, this is one of those conversations where it's like, do as I say, not as I do, because in all honesty, I do not do that at all. Okay. What ended up happening with me, this is just my personal journey with this process, is I'll remember that I need to log time, and I'll procrastinate on it, because that's just my natural default, is to procrastinate on everything. That's why this entire channel is called Dwayne Unfinished, because I just got a bunch of unfinished stuff. By the way, if you're new here, please like and subscribe. Yeah, so the problem is I just don't do what I'm supposed to do. And as a result, a week will pass, maybe even 2 weeks will pass, and then I have to go back and try to remember what is it that I did, when I did what, etc. And it's just a time-consuming process. And frankly, Read AI does not have a really good process of going back and sorting by clients what was actually done. So that's kind of the problem that we're going to try to see if we could tackle in this particular video. So there's going to be a little bit of automation. There's going to be some code. We're going to do some trial and error. I probably have to write a Python script. I'll talk about that in a bit, but the point is that there's going to be multiple things coming together. So I'm going to end up making this video into a multi-part series in order to be able to just get the content into a more digestible format for you guys. But yeah, buckle up. We're in for a ride. We're going to solve this problem of login time and just being more efficient with our own personal time in login time. That makes sense. By the way, just so you know, the only reason I'm doing this video is because I have to log time for my consulting company, and I just don't want to do it. So the next best thing is to do a video on login time, on how to log time. So there you have it. Okay, let's talk about the problem and talk about sort of what's going on. So before I go really deep into the weeds, let's just back up for a second and talk about at a very high level what is it we're going to try to do, because I'm going to make this generic. So even if you're not using Read AI, or let's say you're using another tool to kind of keep track of your meetings, I'm going to try to make it a little bit more generic, so at least you understand the concepts and the principles. So first of all, we're going to use Zoom, right? That OM, our favorite thing, or Meetup, or whatever tool, or Teams, or whatever it is, right? EAMS. The point is you have your meeting tools here. Okay, so that's one. As we know, we have Read AI, right? Or pick your favorite sort of meeting recording tool that's going to automatically record your meetings, and it's going to give you a summary of the meeting. So that's fantastic. That's what we need. Okay, now what's going to happen is I'm also, in this particular case, I'm using a time tracker that's literally monitoring my computer. Now this is different from the company time tracker. Some of you that are in the enterprise world might have your company that's actually tracking your time. That's kind of different. I just use this for my own personal use, just to kind of understand how I track my time. And the tool that I use there is called RescueTime. We'll talk about that in a bit. RESCUE time. Okay, so that's the tool that I use, and this just tracks every single thing on the computer. And the reason why I do it is because I just want to know how much hours am I spending on the computer, and what am I doing on a regular weekly basis. And it just does a fantastic job. And this is a free tool, by the way. I think you can get the API with Read AI for free. I think. Don't quote me on that one, but I think you can. So anyway, so now that we have those two tools in place, what we're going to do is we're going to take our summary. We're going to take our summary notes and we're going to dump it into a spreadsheet in a format where we have sort of like the client, okay, or let's call it the client / topic, and then we'll have the date, okay, and then we'll have sort of like we'll call it the summary description. Okay, and then we'll call it task. Okay, so we'll take the summary and we'll do a summary of the summary, if that makes sense. We'll put it into here. We'll obviously take the date and put it there, and then we'll choose sort of a 1 or 2 word topic of that meeting, whatever that meeting was about, right? And we'll set some criteria for that. We'll take the summary, put it in here, and then we'll try to come up with 2 or 3 task items that came out of that meeting, essentially the action items from the meeting. So that's goal number 1. Okay, we're just going to log that, and that's going to be on a daily automated process. So that's why this is going to be a multi-part video, because we're not going to solve everything in one video. We're going to do it in parts, so you'll have to just subscribe to get notifications for the other videos. See what I just did there? Brilliant. Okay, so with that, yes, so now on the RescueTime side, I'm not familiar with their API, so we're going to dig into that. We're going to figure it out as well. With RescueTime, we're tracking applications. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of have some sort of like, we're going to call it a lookup table, I think is what it is, right? And the lookup table will have sort of like the apps, right, and the title, and then we'll try to map it to some sort of like grouping of a category or topic or title, so that we can sort of take multiple different reports from RescueTime and kind of group them into a specific thing, so we can group the times, right, time spent, and we'll use that with the date time in order to take that and push it into this spreadsheet that we're creating here. Okay, does that make sense? Clear as mud? Great. All right, so that's what we're going to do. So just to recap, the goal is we're going to take our meeting summary, and we're going to take the events that are coming off of our RescueTime, which is the tool we'll talk about in a bit, and we're going to take that, we're going to put it into a spreadsheet. Okay, we're going to take that, we're going to put it into a spreadsheet, and then from the spreadsheet on the other side, we should be able to then summarize the daily time spent logs, DAILY. Okay, and then from there, this summary should be easy enough that you could then now copy and paste that into your timesheet. You don't have to think about it, right? So at bare minimum, what it's going to do is just helping you to kind of keep track of what you were working on every single day, and then help you to kind of summarize that, so that you don't have to use your brain power to then go try to remember and what was done and what was worked on, etc. So let me just talk about my experience in this entire process. I'll talk about the tools in this video, and then in the next video we're going to start breaking things up to pull in the data into the entire process. So let's do that. So let's talk about, sorry, computer rebooted, so I had a bunch of stuff open. So first of all, let's talk about the Read AI meeting notes. So for Read AI, this is how they keep track of all of the meeting notes, right? And it's fine, there's no issues here for the most part. It's a pretty good tool. The problem with it is that it's sort of just, you kind of like it, there's no way for me to, I mean, I could do a search here and I could say let's do Comtech, right? I could do a search like this and I could see this is the thing. I normally do a meeting with my dad on it used to be on a daily basis, but I help him with some of his work. So I could do a search like this and it'll find some stuff, but it's I have to now try to figure out, go back in time to figure out when to do a search, and it doesn't really give me the information in a format that I could truly digest it, right? I'm trying to guess which date it is. Okay, what did I talk about? It doesn't give me enough details, right? It's just, so now what I end up having to do is you have to kind of go in here and then go into the actual meeting and then sort of like read it and go through the details to kind of figure out, okay, what did I do on that day and what did I talk? Because really and truly what you're trying to get to is you're trying to get to the, no, not there, sorry, recap. You're trying to get to the action items, right? These are the things here. Okay, so that's kind of the problem with the meeting notes tools. On the flip side, I have RescueTime. Yeah, that's rescuetime.com. Okay, and this sits here as a extension. It's a Google extension that I could click on. It'll show me exactly how much time I spent today, right? And then if I do, and then it says I'm 63% productive today, right? Sorry, kid's just shaking my desk here. And then if I click into it, see here, it'll show me the week, right? Or I could switch it back to the day, right? So I could say, oh, what did I do today? What did I do yesterday? Let's see, 9 hours yesterday, right? And this is pure computer time. It's just what I did on the computer. I did some 22% of my time spent programming, reference and learning, communication, and utilities. I got those are categories that I kind of set up. You could actually set these categories up. If you want me to, you guys want me to do a deep dive on this tool, let me know and I'll do that for you. But for the week, I did 56 hours this week here. And you can see I only did 15% on programming this week here, which is a little bit low, below my average. And then let's see last week, just to kind of give some comparison. So 68 hours last week. What I like about this thing more than anything else, it kind of gives me an indication of where my burnout hours are, right? Like I was just tired on these days. So that's why you're seeing sort of a dip. I started strong and then kind of went down and then started up again and then kind of, right? And that, I like to see that because it gives me a good understanding of what's happening on a weekly basis, where my productivity time is going, etc. You see the other time is just kind of going a little crazy, right? And this is pure computer time. Doesn't include any of the actual meetings that I do that are physical, etc. So just to kind of, that's to kind of give you an idea of how much time I actually spent purely behind the computer. Maybe not very healthy. Maybe I should be putting this stuff on the internet. But anyway, here we are. Okay, so that's basically the goal. So now that you get that, what we're going to do in this video, I'll just close this off by saying, so we're going to pull information from here. We're going to pull information from a RescueTime. And RescueTime has this format here. So again, I'm actually not a paid member of RescueTime, just using their free tool. But look at this. I could actually show you the websites that I've been on and how much time I actually spent. This is actually really nice implementation. Now, one other thing that they do have, I want to highlight this feature of RescueTime. Again, not affiliated with them, don't have their product, etc. But I've been using these guys just to give you some perspective. I've logged 30, I don't know how many logged, 37,000, nearly 38,000 hours in this tool. That's 4 years and 3 months of pure time logged. I've been actually using the tool since 2008, which I don't even, it's not in here because I guess I gotta unlock the full history, which I gotta pay for. But yeah, and by the way, I highly recommend that you pay for this tool, etc. So the reason why you might want to pay for it, let me just give them a proper plug because I actually do like it. If you go to integration, where is it? Here, API integration. You can actually, RescueTime integrates with your Easy Calendar Reflex. So you could actually make this happen. You could get it to just connect with your Google Calendar and it will automatically roll up exactly what we're going to try to do manually. Roll up the hours and give you a summary for every day, right? So it gives you a summary, but it's basically see your meeting timesheets and timelines, etc., and roll up the meetings across everything. So this is literally what we're going to try to do. The problem with this format, which is why I'm not keen on doing it this way, is because you still have to kind of go through every single day on your calendar to figure out what you worked on, which, you know, if you're just looking for a super easy solution, this might actually be it. Click connect the calendar, and at bare minimum is tracking and giving you the time logs for every day that you worked. And on this side here, you know, you would just get the bigger summaries of the meetings that you focus on. So if you combine those two together, it should give you a pretty decent, accurate picture of what you were working on within that day. So hopefully that's given you sort of an understanding of the groundwork of what we're going to be doing. And then in the next video, we're going to start by creating a spreadsheet, setting it up, and then talk about the process of actually pushing the data into the actual tool itself. So stay tuned for the next video. Again, if you got some value from this, please like and subscribe, and we're going to go deeper into this process within the next video. So thanks for your time.